Here we have the new 2024 Lincoln Corsair. This one comes in the Reserve 2 trim level in Infinite Black Metallic. And then we have Sandstone Premium Leather Interior. For the powertrain, we get a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And not a lot of huge changes as opposed to the 23 model, so we'll check it out here. As we get to the front end here, that same beautiful front fascia, LED headlamps, LED daytime running lights. Love the blacked out grille there, though. It goes great, especially with this color. Please excuse the wind noise. It's starting to storm here. But there we have 20-inch aluminum wheels. We get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And then over here we have our power seat controls, power lumbar, 3 different memory seat settings. And then we have power windows, power folding mirrors with blind spot monitors, and we can fold those there. Power door lock controls here. Headlamp controls. Get a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And there's the power driver seat there. It's always interesting having the controls on the side like the Mercedes. But anyways, I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. Big shout out to Lincoln of Franklin for allowing me to review this Corsair today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But $52,080 is the sticker price for this one in particular. Let's go ahead and hop in here. Get out of this wind for a second. So I love the space you get back here for this to be as small as it is. And I think a lot of that, even with these bulkier seats, you're able to adjust that seat bottom almost perfectly, so I'm not having to take up as much space to be comfortable. And that's why the seat's as far up as it is. Again, being 6'3" up there and then sitting behind myself, decent room for the segment. Seat back pockets on both sides. You have rear AC vents. There are 4 USB-C charge ports down there behind those doors. And then this does have the panoramic roof, and that's what it looks like when the sun shades up. But we'll retract it back here in a moment. Bottle holders are there in the middle. You can also use that as an armrest. We could probably hang a couple metal hangers here or a plastic hanger hook there if you want to hang a shirt in the back. But let's make our way towards the back of the vehicle. Fuel filler. And then as we come around the back end here, we do get the LED tail lamps. And I love how Lincoln has done such a great job with these SUVs and just making them all look similar, but not necessarily the same. So I love having the light strip there, like you'd expect to find on the Navigators. And then behind your second row, quite a bit of space. Spares underneath there. And you have a small tray back there. And you can also power release these seats for the back. There's a 12-volt over there. But as that closes, this one does have the tow hitch integrated. Dual exhaust. Well, let's come around to the rear passenger side and I'll just show you how that seat folds down. If you do want to do it manually from the front, just pull up there, and then when the seat's up far enough, that'll fold flat, and you can run longer objects from the back to the front. And then our front passenger seats here, lockable glove compartment there. I like how that's kind of like carpeted almost. And then love having that wood grain trim. And then your seat controls are right there. But as we come back around to the front, where I hit that latch twice, all I have to do is pull up. There's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And the only thing I hate about the double tap hood release is I can never get it right. You almost have to slam this thing. Well, you really do have to slam this to get it shut all the way. But now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and hop in here, get out of the cold. So there's a leather wrap steering wheel, horn sound there. To the radio, one of the issues I have with this is I can never figure out how to get back to the main menu here. But this is the radio home screen here, nav is here, audio, you can add your phone, then you have your settings, features, and apps there. So I like how it's set up once you're actually able to get back there, which I always just click the Lincoln icon. But it's kind of just weird. Once you get used to it, it's not bad. But if you're first getting in here, you're thinking, why would I click that? But anyways, all of your vehicle settings are here. Sound settings, your general settings, you can come in here and change your language, temperature units, or your measurement units for miles and miles per gallon. If you want to change that to metric, you can. And I'll just go through everything for those who look at this video because they need to find something in the radio. Ambient lighting in here is pretty nice, and you can adjust that here. But the navigation screen built in, so pretty easy to use. You can just search your destination, so on and so forth. And then your driver assistance features are in here, so you can turn your cruise control from adaptive to normal, change the lane keeping system, so on and so forth there. And then your climate controls, push button, pull up the screen. You can adjust temperature here. You have 3-stage heated cooled seats as well. And then you can change fan direction within the actual screen. And the heated steering wheel toggle is there, your auto mode is there. I'm just gonna cut that off. Backup camera's there with the bird's eye view, guidelines, follow you as you turn the steering wheel. And then down here we have the shifter, so park, reverse, neutral, drive, it's all push button. And then the volume knob is here. Click there to mute the audio. And then you can hit that button there to pull up the parking sensors. And then hit that button to pull up the front camera if you want to use that. Hazards, auto stop toggle. And then your traction control there. Max defrost. I like how they put Lincoln here though, that's very nice. And then I also like how the emblem is kind of protruded down there from the light. Wireless charging pad is there, USB-A, USB-C port. Of course, you can stow all of that away. Bottle holders and electronic parking brake. Pull up to engage, hit the brake, press down to disengage. And then for your drive modes, you have excite, conserve, normal, slippery. So, I mean, it's pretty useful, I think, to have those different sets of drive modes, but of course, it's not as many as you'd get on a fully loaded Expedition or something like that. But as I'm retracting the roof, or the sunshade for the sunroof, just a quick look in the center console space here. I don't know if this can, yeah, that can be removed. Then you have a 12 volt down in there. So interesting how they made this in terms of just having it stick out from the side there. I don't even know if it's in there all the way yet, but there it is. And back up here. Now, one thing I've always disliked about Ford sunroofs is I have to retract the shade and then retract the roof. I can't do both at the same time. That's one touch, and then that's as far as it goes back. You can also vent it too if you want to. The sunglasses holder is here. Lights are there. Garage door transmitter. I do like the vanity mirror, that's very nice. But back to the steering wheel, voice recognition, paddle shifters are behind, and then we can adjust volume or track list radio station presets here. Lane keeping system can be toggled from the stock here, blinkers, and then your high beam toggle there. You can flash here. We do get automatic wipers, so one time off, auto low high. We can adjust the auto sensitivity here, rear wiper off, intermittent on. Push back for the rear wiper fluid, pull up for the front wiper fluid. And then one of my favorite things about the Lincolns is just having the features here. I'll go to the cruise controls and all that in a minute, but within the actual gauge cluster, you can hit that to go to for your options on that right-hand side. And then if you do this, it kind of adjusts with you. If you want to see the oil life or whatever, you can go through all of that. And as you go back and forth, your controls do the same. So pretty neat. But now for the adaptive cruise, you want to turn that on, hit this button. All of this illuminates, which I love. You can set your speed, resume, adjust the gap forward and back, and then you can cancel the cruise there. Push button start, key fob with remote start. And next, let's take this Corsair Reserve 2 out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Lincoln Corsair, relatively easy to drive just with a smaller size. And the 2-liter Turbo 4 definitely has enough power for most everyday tasks. Now, you don't want to race anybody in it, but I mean, it is pretty peppy. Most importantly, you're getting 22 miles per gallon city, 30 miles per gallon highway. And something that is relatively quick again. One thing I can say about, just off the bat, the sound acoustics in here are very good. It's very, very quiet in here. Minimal road noise. And I just like that I don't have to scream at the person next to me to get a point across. Now getting just a tad bit of body roll here. As I come around this curve, not really feeling much, but as I hit certain bumps, the bumps tend to be a bit more harsh than I would like, but the overall ride quality is superb. When I'm not hitting bumps, it's just floating. But it doesn't have an adaptive suspension or anything crazy like that, so if you do hit a bump, it's not gonna necessarily read the road and know not to do this or not to do that like maybe a $100,000 Yukon would. But again, still an impressive driving experience here. Now I'm gonna try the paddle shifters out just in normal mode, gonna give it just light throttle. Now I like how quickly it shifts with these 8 speeds and that they're not very harsh, at least not in the normal mode. I'm gonna try the same thing getting on the interstate in sport mode, or excite mode, excuse me. But it is nice just to be able to throw the paddle shifters on at any time and then just hold that plus pedal down to get it back to the auto mode. So I'm gonna put it into excite mode right now. So pretty quick, I'm gonna put on the cruise now, and then let's put it back into the conserve mode. Now obviously this is not a sports car again, but one thing that I wish I could see, and maybe there's a setting here to fix that, but I'd like to see a tachometer somewhere on here. There might be a way to change that. It says display setup. Well, there you go. So I can add that there. And then, I don't see it now, but anyways, final thoughts on this. I like how practical it is. I like how peppy it is, but most importantly, I like how luxurious it is. It's very, very smooth in every way. So I think it's a good luxury, I should say a great luxury Ford Escape if you're looking for something like this. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Lincoln Corsair Reserve 2.